We are in line 13 of Psalm 73. Surely I have cleansed my heart in vain. And so that sends us to Job 21. Back to Job. Can have any Psalms like this without going through Job. All right, Job 21:15. We already read it already when we read 5 through 15. But it says, who is the Almighty that we should serve him? And what profit do we have if we pray to him? So that's just to corroborate how he feel, is that he's doing all of that praying and serving God in vain. And then so it also sends us to Job 35:3. That says, for you say, what advantage will it be to you? What profit shall I have more than if I had sinned? So let me just go up to one so we can read that in context. Moreover, Elihu answered and said, do you think that this is right? Do you think this is right? Do you say my righteousness is more than God's? For you say, what advantage will it be to you? What profit shall I have more than if I had sinned? Okay, so that's just a question on, like he was saying, that's what Job was saying to God. So he's saying, like, what advantage will it be to you? What profit shall I have more than if I had sinned? So it's like, remember, Job was blameless. And so would it have been more profitable that he was going through all this suffering if he had sinned? And so, and he was upright and blameless before God, and he still had to go through all of that. Let's look, and then it says in the B part of 13, it says, and wash my hands in innocence. 14, for all day long I have been plagued and chastened every morning. So he said all day long he had severe epidemics on him, things just pounding and compounded on him, and he's been corrected every morning. 15, if I had said I would speak thus, behold, I would have been untrue to the generation of your children. So he's talking to God. If I had said I would speak thus, behold, I would have been untrue to the generation of your children. And he's saying to God, of your children, because that's a capital one, of God's children. 16, when I thought how to understand this, it was too painful for me, or too troublesome for me, until I went into the sanctuary of God, then I understood their end. So I just went ahead and started elaborating on the stanza, and I ain't even read the whole stanza in context, huh? So let me just read the whole stanza in context. If I had said I would speak thus, behold, I would have been untrue to the generation of your children. When I thought how to understand this, it was too painful for me, until I went into the sanctuary of God, then I understood their end. So in 15, so he says, if I had said I would speak thus, behold, I would have been untrue to the generation of your children. When I thought how to understand this, it was too painful for me. So he didn't want to speak to God's children about this. Because it would have been untrue. And because he had to regroup and to be able to figure all this out. And so he's saying in 16, when I thought how to understand this, it was too painful for me, or too troublesome. He really didn't understand. And so he's saying, then he went on to say in 17, until I went into the sanctuary of God. So he went to church. Then he understood their end. And so that end sends us to Psalm 37:38. And let's see what that is. That says, but the transgressors shall be destroyed together. The future of the wicked shall be cut off. And that's true. That's why he went to church. He had to understand that. He's going to church because he's seeking after life. They're not going to church, and so ultimately they're seeking death. Because even if you don't say choose God, then you actually still making a choice. Because if you're not choosing God, then you are choosing Satan. There are only two forces in this world: God and Satan, good and evil. And if you're not choosing or following after the one, then it's automatically you're doing the other. There's no in between, like to say, well, I'm not serving God or Satan. You're serving somebody. You're serving somebody. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and pause here, and then we'll pick it up in 18.